What's your best sense now? I know that, and you've acknowledged that there's been some confusion around this, around when healthy Americans are going to be able to get vaccinated.
So you're asking, when do you get to a healthy young person who has no priority?
Right.
Well, I had originally said April. I think that's probably too early, because I believe, given the pace at which vaccines are coming in now, by the time we get the elderly and those with underlying conditions and the other people in society, it probably won't be until May or June before we can at least start to get the normal, non-prioritized person vaccinated. As the president said correctly, by July, we will have enough vaccines to vaccinate everybody in the country, and it would merely be a logistic challenge of getting vaccines efficiently into the arms of individuals. And that's when you'll start seeing the kinds of vaccine programs where you may open up a big auditorium or a stadium and have people lined up to come in, where it's just a question of getting a lot of vaccinators, people who are able to give the vaccine.
A lot of people have been frustrated about school reopenings. Can you explain to frustrated parents who are watching gyms reopen and restaurants reopen why so many schools are still closed across the country? I mean, how much of this is teachers' unions? How much of this is politics?
You know, it's a combination of so many things. I wouldn't say it's politics, but it is a concern. It's a complicated issue. So what I would say, and I've said this well before the guidelines that the CDC came out with were actually out, that the default position should be that we do whatever we can, as best as we can, to get the children back in school and staying in school to the extent we can possibly do this. That should be a very high priority. And what we would have to do in order to reach that priority would be to put the resources in to be able to have a situation where getting them back to school pays a great deal of attention to the safety and the welfare of the children, of the teachers, and of the other educational personnel in the school. That includes doing things like prioritizing teachers to get vaccinated. I'm not saying that it has to be, you don't go back to teaching unless you're vaccinated, but we should be making them, in our prioritization, a very high priority among essential personnel. And the guidelines are really a layered mitigation description, which, if followed, I believe will make it safer and easier to get the kids back to school.